What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video of this Volvo 740 project. In this one we're gonna do a full detail and paint correction, so stay tuned and let's get to it. First of all, let's take care of these ugly mirrors. So I removed the mirrors, and as you can see, it's not looking very good. So I'm gonna sand all of this off, or brush it off with a wire wheel or something, and then repaint it. I don't know if I'm gonna repaint this part, because as you can see, if you just wipe it down really good, you know, the black paint comes back. So maybe I'll just try to polish them up somehow, or just remove all of this surface oxidization, and then we'll maybe be good. Rust had started to form where the mirrors mount to the car, so I removed all the surface rust and treated it with a paint that is designed to bond to the metal and stop any further corrosion. With some sandpaper and a lot of elbow grease, I sanded the entire metal area of the mirrors to prep it for paint. So I begin with the zinc primer, and then I apply the matte black paint to it. So with that looking great, the plastic part of the mirror is still very faded and oxidized. So I came up with this idea to use a magic eraser, or a miracle sponge as some call it, and just damp it with some water and buff the mirror off. And surprisingly, it worked really great. Then I treat them with some CarPro Pearl to prevent any further oxidization. Then it's time to move on with the rest of the car. So I'm spraying everything down with the high pressure washer to remove any loose dirt from the surface. And then I proceed with filling my foam cannon with the car shampoo that I'm gonna be using, and just foaming the entire car down. Then with a microfiber mitt, I gave the entire car a really good scrub. Since we're gonna polish the car, I'm not super careful with the wash stage, but it's still unnecessary to induce scratches and swirls if you don't have to. So I'm basically just following my normal washing routine. When the entire car has been shampooed, it's time to rinse everything off. And then it's time for the next stage, and this is very crucial if you're gonna polish the car, and that is to use a clay bar and go over the entire car. And this step is really important because you're gonna lift off any bonded contaminants in the paint. If you don't do this step, it's just going to fill your polishing pad with all those contaminations, and you're just gonna drag them over the entire paintwork, and you're probably gonna have a lot of swirls and scratches from the polishing pad itself as a result. So this is a very important step if you want good results with the polishing. And I work panel by panel and then just rinse everything off when I'm done. I'm using some soapy water as a lubricant. There are dedicated clay lubricants, but I find that soapy water works just fine. Then it's time to dry the entire car. So this is it after the wash. I mean, it's perfectly clean now, but as you can see, the paint is in pretty rough shape. There's tons and tons of scratches and swirls. So let's see how the paint responds to some compound and some polishing. The first step of the paint correction stage is using a heavy cut compound in conjunction with this microfiber cutting pad from Meguiar's. I can really recommend these microfiber cutting pads. They have a really fast cutting rate and they're easy to work with. And the compound I'm using is from Mancerna. The polisher I'm using is just a cheap dual action polisher. And after only the first pass, it looks a million times better. But as you can see, the deep scratches are still there. And here you can see a perfect finish when you've done multiple passes and with some polish. No scratches at all. And here, if you go over to the old side, you can see a ton of haze and scratches. And then to the polished side, it's a huge difference. And I just do this exact process to the entire car. I am compounding everything. And then after the compound, I'm gonna be using a polish with a smooth foam pad. A lift is really helpful, as you can see here, because you can always work in comfortable positions. It's really important to blow out your pad after each panel. You saw there how much polishing dust came out of it. And after you've blown it out, you're good to go for the next panel. Here you can see me with the polishing stage. I'm using a soft green polishing pad in conjunction with Mancerna's fine polish. And to protect the car, I'm using a good quality paste wax from Meguiar's. And I can tell you, applying and buffing off a wax on a freshly polished paintwork is super easy. It just buffs off like nothing. These license plates are long overdue for replacement, so let's go ahead and take care of that. These winter tires that were included with the car were worn out and non-circular, so I went ahead and bought these one used from the internet, but as you can see the rubber is pretty much brand new and the rims themselves are rust free, so that's super nice. And of course they weren't this clean when I bought them, so I gave them a good scrub. And then it's time to move on to the interior of the car. And honestly, this wasn't so dirty because I did a quick interior clean when I bought the car in the summertime. So I just gave it a vacuum in the entire car, clean the rubber floor mats or the plastic floor mats. As well as all the surfaces. And for that I'm using a diluted all-purpose cleaner and agitating with a soft interior brush and then just wiping everything down with a damp microfiber towel. And to dress and protect all the vinyl and plastic in the car, I'm using Meguiar's Natural Shine and Protect. It gives it a matte, nice satin looking finish when it's dried, and it also provides it with some UV protection. And that's the interior done. Let's have a look at the results. So that's it for this detail, guys. I mean, you could go even further and go absolutely crazy, but I'm pretty much happy where I am right now. And of course, it's not absolutely 100% perfect. I mean, it's a 30-year-old car. It has a few dings here and there, as you can see right there. Some parts probably needs repaint. But yeah, it looks 100 times better now, that's for sure. There's a lot more gloss in the paint. So yeah, it's a lot nicer to look at now than it was before. Just have a small question for you guys. Maybe you can help me out. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna run with these hubcaps. Can't really seem to decide what looks best. I mean, this looks like fresh and old school, but I kind of like the raw style over here without the hubcaps. So I don't know, maybe you could let me know in the comments what you think looks best, and we'll take it from there. I'm thinking about running without hubcaps because, you know, it's winter and all. It's probably more practical to run without them, but we will see. So yeah, anyways, that's everything for this episode. Really appreciate that you watch this, and if you feel like it, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. So yeah, see you next time, guys. Have a great one. Bye.